What is up, beautiful people? Patch 22.2 is out, and you know what that means. Big changes for the Hearthstone meta, and so if you want to know what's going on without having to look stuff up, do all the reading and scrolling by yourself, I got you right here. Let's get right into it. First card up is Shadowcrafter Scavs. If you play Standard, you've seen Shadowcrafter Scavs. Shadowcrafter Scavs is going from 7 cost to 8 cost. No other changes. I think that's a fine nerf. It's not too big. Doesn't take away any of the stealth minions or returning any of the other minions. So, you know, you love to see that. Literally all rogue nerfs are good nerfs at this point. Just change rogue. Just change rogue a little bit. And then we got Wild Paw Knoll. Wild Paw Knoll is going from a 4/5 to a 3/5. And the cost is going from 5 to 6, so it's going to cost more and do less damage. That's honestly probably for the best. If we don't just want to vault the card in its entirety, that is probably for the best. Cloak of Shadows goes from 3 costs to 4 costs. Did I see this coming? No. Does it make sense? Yes. Anything that makes your hero invulnerable for a turn, it's very strong. It's very strong, and so to have it cost 3... I don't know, I feel like that was a little low, so this is probably a good nerf as well. Rogue still has Octobot, so there's still, you know, times and places when it'll cost 3, but we won't see as many times where it costs like 2 or 1. I guess there are still some ways in which that can happen, right? You start trading the Cutlass and dropping them the cost, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the patch, the nerfs, and the buffs. Raid the Docks. That is the pirate quest line, the second part of the quest line. Where it used to say play 2 pirates, reward, deal 2 damage to a random enemy twice. Now it says play 3 pirates. So that will make the total pirates needed to complete the quest go from 7 pirates to 8 pirates total. I think this is a good nerf. It was happening way too quickly with all the low-cost pirates. And Rikara was coming out and basically just steamrolling the game, especially with Mr. Smite. Mr. Smite is just such a huge card in that deck. I personally think that you should not be able to get Mr. Smite from the ship, from Captain Rikara, but I digress. Next, we have Encantor's Flow. Encantor's Flow is going from 3 to 4, and if you remember, Encantor's Flow, to my knowledge, I've been playing this game for a very long time, so I could be wrong. It used to cost 2, so we've nerfed it twice now. Encantor's Flow is just one of the best designed cards. It just was a little bit too strong. Twice. Coming down here, Sorcerer's Apprentice. This is not even in Standard. This is going to be Wild or Classic, I guess. It's going from 2 costs to 4 costs. That gives me a few tears. I cry one time for a Sorcerer's Apprentice. I really was a big fan of Freeze Mage. And this is just going to... I don't know if it'll kill it. I haven't played that deck in so long, but something, I guess, was probably happening in Wild, where Sorcerer's Apprentice was too strong at 2. That's a huge nerf, because it's a 4 cost 3/2. The stats didn't change at all. If it didn't have the effect that it does, it would literally be useless. I wonder what kind of combos are being played with it right now. Rapid Fire for Hunter. That is going from cost 1 to cost 2, and then instead of deal 1 damage, it does 2 damage. So it seems as though the problem with Rapid Fire was not the damage amount, but it was what else you could do after you play a 1 cost spell. So all the cards listed above that we just went over will be eligible for a full dust refund for 2 weeks after the patch. Do not miss out on your dust, especially if you have some extra cards, especially if you have some extra goldens that you never use. You get a ton of dust. That's super helpful, especially for completing sets, completing mini sets, and then like when the new set comes out. Some people, you know, you don't always need a full set. There's always certain cards that you don't get that you really need, and so having that extra dust is super important. All right, the following cards have now been buffed. Rikara the Valorous. Warrior's Hero card has gone from 5 armor to 10 armor. I think that is a phenomenal change, especially since the only thing Rikara had besides armor was the weapon. There was no deal 2 damage. There was no, you know, I guess there's also the new hero power, but it didn't do anything. Nothing. Didn't send cards back to your hand, didn't draw you a card, doesn't give you any extra mana. It's just like, here, have a weapon with 2 charges. So giving it the 10 armor is really nice, especially because there's a lot of things that Warrior can do with that armor. That was the only one. That was the only one that got buffed. So, next we got Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds Buddies are coming. The buddy system is coming. I'm super excited for that. I have a whole video on all the Battlegrounds Buddies if you want to check that out. I'll put it somewhere. I'm not saying I'm going to put it right here, but it is on my page. What else? The armor system will deactivated while we try the buddy system, just to see. I'm reading it like I am we. I'm not we. They are they. I am me. You are you. But the armor system is going to be deactivated just for a little bit. See if everything is balanced or not. Hero selection has also been extended temporarily 10 seconds, which for some people is like, why? Now I have to wait longer. But you want to look through all your buddies and see that, right? There's going to be a little confusion for the first few playthroughs. And you want to choose a hero that best suits not only you, but the lobby. So while we learn the buddy system, that'll exist. The cost of upgraded Tavern 5 has been increased by 2 gold, so that now starts at 11 gold. That'll be a very interesting change because it'll change how soon people can go up to 5 and then up to 6 after that. So we'll see how that works. And then today's the 25th. The 25th of January, the patch is out, ratings will reset to 0, and a new season will begin. So Battlegrounds Buddies will be the start of a brand new system. If you want to know a ton more about Battlegrounds Buddies, like I said, go check out my video. But the short version of Battlegrounds Buddies is essentially there will be tasks for your heroes / minions to complete. As you complete some of them, you will be granted a buddy. The buddy is specific to the hero that you have. And then when you finish the second half of the bar, you'll be granted 2 more. So if you kept the first one, it'll become golden. If you didn't, you'll just have 2 extra copies for the end. There's 75. That's why we're not going through all of them here. Feel free to check out the buddies, things like that. But we do have a couple new heroes as well. Brewkhan. Brewkhan says, embrace the elements. Brewkhan's hero power costs 0. And then you get to choose which element you want to call upon. Fire. Start of combat, double your leftmost minion's attack. Lightning, start of combat, deal 1 damage to 5 random enemy minions. So it's not just across the board one, but it'll do 5 different ones. Earth, start of combat, give 4 friendly minions death rattle, summon a 1/1 elemental. Water invocation, start of combat, give your rightmost minion +3 health and taunt. I'm a really big fan of the water invocation. Brewkhan is going to be probably a pretty good hero. I don't know about top tier, I don't know about number 1, but pretty good hero. We do have Drek Thar. Where lead the Frost Wolves costs 0, choose a friendly minion. It copies the attack of your highest cost minion, highest attack minion. My apologies, for the next combat only. Then of course you have to have Vandar Stormpike if you have Drek Thar. So lead the Stormpikes costs 0, choose a friendly minion. It copies the health of your highest health minion for the next combat only. That's going to be super helpful. Tavish Stormpike is the last new hero. Deadeye also costs 0. All these hero powers cost 0. That's going to be tough. Take aim, start of combat, deal 1 damage to your target. That upgrades each turn. That's nutty. And then you can aim left, low, high, or right. Aim left is start of combat, deal 1 damage to the leftmost enemy minion. Low to the lowest health minion, high to the highest health enemy minion, and right to the rightmost enemy minion. And that does say that it upgrades each turn. So I'm assuming it's deal 1 damage, deal 2 damage, deal 3 damage, and that'll just keep going up throughout the game. So we'll have to see how that works. Tavish is looking like he'll be a pretty good hero as well. And then we have some hero updates. Alexstrasza, odds for tier 6 dragons are no longer reduced. Thank you. I literally would not pick Alexstrasza at all because of that. Ysera, Bob's Tavern no longer counts as being refreshed at the start of turn if no new minions are added. So you don't just get a dragon if you've frozen the whole entire tavern. You still have to refresh. George the Fallen, hero power now reads, give a minion divine shield. Developer note, this allows you to target shot minions as well as your minions. I'm not sure what that's going to do in the grand scheme of things, but I'm guessing. I actually don't really have any guesses. I'm like, why would you want to put divine shield on something in the shop that you're not gonna buy? Or how does that work? I don't know if anybody has any ideas on that one. Please leave them in the comments because that's a super cool interaction that I have no idea what the point of it is. We're gonna keep scrolling. Carry Master text now reads, Battlecry gain +1 health for each health your hero is missing. I'm assuming that has to do with the armor system. They don't want it to be confused for gaining extra health for armor. No functional change to the card. Now we are at the mercenary updates. We're getting a little update to the village. I love the village, and I love that we are finally getting to fill this little empty spot right here. It's going to be the training grounds. That means that you get to put your mercenaries in the training grounds, and they will gain passive XP. Training grounds will cost 100 gold to create. another 200 gold to upgrade, which is literally not that much at all, for a total of 2 training slots. And like I said, you will be able to leave your mercenaries in there to gain experience. I'm assuming up to level 30. And then after that, you will obviously have to grind and gain coins to upgrade abilities and equipment. That is something that we have talked about multiple times on the Spirit Healer podcast. If you are not listening to that, definitely check out the Spirit Healer podcast with myself, Cinder Ascendant, and Dragon Rider DK. We are having a great time on that podcast, and hopefully you guys will as well. Oh, there's so much new content here. I'm so excited. New mercenaries, Belinda Stonehearth. I'd say you guys can just read it, but I'm literally here so you don't have to. It will be a legendary human fighter. 1073 will be the stats. 10 attack, 73 health. Abilities will be Flame Dart, Frost Dart, and Frost Burn. Okay. Flame Dart is a 3-speed, deal 10 damage. Give them +3 Frost weakness. You love to see that. Frost Dart, speed 4. Deal 12 damage. Give them +3 fire weakness. By the way, these are all of the maxed out abilities. And then Frost Burn 5, speed 7, so it's pretty slow. Cooldown 1, so you can't use it on the first turn. Deal 11 damage to all enemies. Either gain 3 frost damage or 3 fire damage. I don't know if it lets you choose. Either way, it should be okay, though, especially if you've been hitting stuff with frost darts. The frost burn, frost dart or flame dart. If you've been hitting stuff with darts, you can just burn them afterwards. Equipment, lesser fire elemental. Battlecry summon a 10-15 lesser fire elemental that applies +3 fire weakness to characters it damages. Okay. Lesser water elemental, a 10-15 lesser water elemental that freezes characters at damage. Stormpike Salvation is the last equipment. Passive at the end of each turn. Give all your characters +5 health. Oh, baby, a triple. Not heal your characters for 5. Give them +5 health. Belinda Stonehearth, strong. Probably going to be the first new mercenary I go for. Hands down. I don't even have to read the rest. Captain Galvangar is going to be our next epic fighter orc with 11 attack, 71 health for maxed stats. Rending Cleave, speed 5, attack an enemy. If it has not acted this turn, apply bleed 8 to it and adjacent enemies. Bleed, I believe, and I could be wrong, they'll take another 8 damage at the end of the turn. I don't know how long that lasts, but I do know that it will do damage over time at the end of the turn. Fatal Strike 5, speed 3, deal 8 damage to an enemy. It can't heal for 2 turns. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. We needed that. If not for PvP, then definitely for PvE. Captain Galvangar is actually very, very important. I don't know, necessary even, to beating some of these heroic bosses. And we will talk about that on the Spirit Healer podcast. I am 100% sure of it because I'll make sure it happens. Frightening Shout 5, speed 6, cooldown 1, deal 10 damage to all enemies. If they have acted, the ability they used gains +3 cooldown. So basically, they just can't use it for the rest of the game. That's amazing. Especially for, listen, it's good for PvP and PvE. I don't know if Galvangar is going to be like #1 top tier, but definitely for some specific PvE builds, that's phenomenal. Doesn't get better than that. Equipment, Fury of the Frost Wolf, passive. Friendly characters have +5 attack. Drek Thar's boom! Fatal Strike also applies bleed 5. So now it can't heal for 2 turns, and it bleeds for 5. That's impressive. Deafening Howl, Frightening Shout deals 5 more damage to all enemies. What a wonderful mercenary they've put out there. How many more are there? 3 more? 3 more. Alrighty. So we have Wrathion, the epic human fighter, with 12 and 73 max stats. Abilities, Creeping Madness is going to be a speed 8 attacking an enemy. The next turn they must use a different ability or take 20 damage straight up. You want to use this? Pay the fine. Tail Swipe, speed 6, deal 20 damage randomly to the left or rightmost enemy. Benefits, 20 damage is a decent clip of damage. Drawbacks, you don't get to choose. So it might do double damage, it might not. It might hit one that you don't really care if it lives. Again, 20 damage is a decent clip though. And it is a shadow attack, just to be clear. I haven't been calling, what all of these abilities are because they don't all matter, but for that one it does, because if you can buff shadow attack, then that'll do more than 20. True Form is the last. Speed 3, cooldown 2. Become a dragon, gain +0 health is what it starts at. the health is increased by damage dealt by this Merc. And then after you use True Form, that will turn into Fell Rain, which is speed 8, cooldown 1, deal 3 damage to all enemies, repeat 4 times. Wow. This is a super cool card. Equipment, Chimera of Fear, Creeping Madness makes the enemy 4 speed slower. You love slows. Black Dragon Scales, Tail Swipe also applies bleed 5. They love this bleed. I think that's going to have something that's probably necessary for some of these heroic bounties. Horn of Wrathion, True Form has no cooldown and also grants +6 attack. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one you're going to want to be using. That's an amazing equipment right there. Local Aura, Rare Protector Elemental, 9 attack, 82 health for max stats. Abilities are Hailstorm, which is a speed 5, deal 3 damage to a random enemy, but repeat 5 times. Okay, wow. And then since it's a frost ability, if a couple of those mercenaries have frost weakness, that'll do even more. Frost Shock, speed 9. Wow, deal 10 damage to an enemy. Their next ability gives them +5 frost weakness for that turn. Okay. Only for that turn, though. So you got to have that go before your other mercenaries' frost abilities. Huh. Interesting. Snowballs, 5 frost, speed 7, cooldown 1, deal 10 damage. Damage increases by 5 every time another frost ability is cast. It resets after use. So that it sounds to me like you can stack that. So every time a frost ability is used, it'll be +5, +5, +5, +5, right? So you might be doing 25, 30, 35, 40 damage, but then it'll reset back to 10. The counter will start over again. That's still a pretty cool way to do that. Icy Focus. To start the equipment, Hailstorm repeats 4 more times. Hailstorm repeats 4 more times? Here's my question. Just off rip, right? So since Snowball, damage increases by +5 every time another frost ability is cast, does the repeating of Hailstorm mean that once you use Hailstorm, the damage of Snowball is already +25? And then +40? No, that can't be right. 45? With the Icy Focus? Is that how that works? Does anybody know how that works? I must sound crazy right now. I don't know. We'll see how that works. Frigid Winds, passive. After an enemy acts, gain +4 frost damage until the end of turn. So if the enemies are going before you, okay, you get that extra frost damage. Shroud of the Ice Lord, passive. Friendly elementals have +20 health. That's super helpful. I feel like the other two are simply better, though. We'll have to see how these warbands start looking. Sinestro, the Rare Fighter Dragon, 13 attack, 75 health, max stats. Abilities, Racking Swipe, Racking, right? Yeah, WRACK. Speed 6, attack an enemy. If you control another dragon, apply bleep. English is hard, man. If you control another dragon, apply bleed 10. Mana barriers as restore 50 health to a dragon. Its next ability is 3 speed slower. It's 50 health. I think that's fair. Twilight Extinction. Wow, speed 5, cooldown 1. Restore 20 health to this Merc at the end of next turn. Deal 30 damage to all enemies. I love it here. The combo capabilities are just so amazing. It's fine. Everything's fine. Equipment, Hook Talons, Racking Swipe applies an additional bleed 5. Mana Brooch, Mana Barrier restores 10 more health and reduces damage taken by 5 this turn. That's amazing. Shard of Woe, Twilight Extinction restores 20 more health and deals 10 more damage, but has +1 cooldown. Totally worth it, I think, and those are all kind of interchangeable. I think these are some of the most well-balanced equipment, and be changed out based on your comp. The last few updates for mercenaries are essentially that for all these new mercenaries, the last equipment, instead of coming from task 7, will come from defeating a heroic bounty. And there are also all of these new phenomenal bounties. 6 new bounties, actually. So that will be a lot of fun. Hopefully, I'll be able to get into those, and we'll do some guides on, if not the regular clears, the heroic clears, figure out how to get those for you. This update is looking to be phenomenal. I don't know much about Duels, and I don't really play Duels, and there looks to be about a bajillion updates on Duels. So I'm going to look and see if there is any like TLDR up here. Looks like on January 25th, the Duel season will end, a new season will begin. Phenomenal. Duels achievements will be updated to be hero specific instead of class specific. That's nice. New card buckets will be added to better support the new heroes. Phenomenal. Pool 2 treasure offerings will now be more synergistic with your deck. Oh man, that's awesome. So there's going to be a couple new heroes, a few new abilities to unlock, and then some added cards and some reworked stuff, it looks like. I'm not going to go through all of that because that would take not only forever, but I don't really play Duels like that, and I don't know anybody that plays Duels like that. If you guys want me to go over the Duel stuff, I can. We can talk about what seems good, what seems bad. It just goes on and on and on, which is amazing. Oh, and then there's treasure pool changes, so it changes not only the cards, but there's some treasures that are changed a lot. Okay, here's what I'm going to say about Duels. Duels is not a game mode that I really play. It's not a game mode that I have often considered playing, but the sheer number of changes that I just saw scrolling up and down through this makes me kind of want to look into it just a little bit. I don't think I would main the game mode or anything like that, but it's getting a lot of attention, and that tells me that there's either a lot of players playing that I was unaware about, or I mean, I guess that has to be it, right? Like, you wouldn't put so much into a game mode that no one was playing. So that's phenomenal that Duels is doing so well. There's going to be a special Tavish versus Rikara Tavern Brawl out launching on the 26th. Book of Mercenaries for Tavish will be out. And then the Lunar New Year celebration will start soon, and there will be a new card back added to the game. Everything else is bug fixes. Wow. This is a super big patch. I am super excited for it. You guys let me know what you are most excited for in this patch, and or what you are most excited for to potentially see in future patches. That's amazing. Look at this card back. I love it. That's super pretty. The Dancing Lion card back will be available for free in the shop starting January 25th today. Make sure to collect that. Do not forget to dust any of those extra cards you have that you can get a full, I repeat, a full dust refund for. And you guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. Thanks for coming out. You guys are the bomb. I believe in you.